Number 10 on the list is Paradise Palms, a location that is very dear to my own heart. It was the first location that Alyssa and I purchased a vacation home. We bought a beautiful 5-bedroom right at the end of the drive-through. As you come up through this drive, on the right-hand side, the very end unit was ours, and that was our first dabble into the vacation home market. And at that time, it was the newest resort. I want to say it around 2012, 2013, or thereabouts. Fantastic clubhouse, all the amenities. It really was the start of the new great resorts, the clubhouse with the movie theatre and the big pool area and all the bells and whistles. And it really was a fantastic new opportunity to buy new homes. In fact, the original Alexander Palm, the 5-bedroom villa, was $389,000. I'll remember that. It would be great to get one for $389,000 today. But it was originally supposed to be all townhouses, and when Lennar came in and took over the resort from the original developer, who only developed the first 2 rows of townhouses, they came in and replotted all around the edges on phase 1, that's the north section, with the 5 and the 6 bedroom homes. And what's interesting about that is that floor plan, the Majesty, and the 5-bedroom Alexander became exceptionally popular. And other resorts, in fact, went on to become very popular. First of all, over in Champions Gate, when they released Champions Gate, and then again over in Storey Lake, and also down in Solterra you can find that same floor plan. It's very unusual. In fact, it's really the only property that we term a villa, and it only has the 1-car garage, which was a great idea. It was really revolutionary at the time, because they had these little 1-car garages which allowed for a lot more space inside. And again, that floor plan became so popular that the Lennar still produces that floor plan today, and it's gone through a couple of different phases. It's a whole modernised section, has that really clean cut, very new, very Brazilian look that you'll see if you see them over in Storey Lake. But it's still named Alexander, and it's still named the Majesty, and that was where that property was born from. It was born because they had limited space, because they replotted the townhomes in Paradise Palms, and they put in those properties, and those were the very first new homes that we got to sell, and became very popular. And it really launched that whole process, which launched us into Champions Gate. And if you've been following the market, you'll know all about Champions Gate, and that all started from back in Paradise Palm. So there's your number 10. Number 9 on my list is a resort that is just one of those great places that if you're looking for a property that's a great value, that has all amenities, that's in a new resort, it really is one of those resorts that fits many. It's that shoe that fits every foot, and that resort would be Solterra. Exceptionally popular, still is exceptionally popular today. The interesting thing about Solterra is that Solterra is the only resort that I can think of, other than Reunion, that's a kind of different scenario, we'll get to that a little bit later, that has multiple different developers in there. It originally started off with Park Square Homes and D.R. Horton were building the new homes, and then Park Square built as you drive into Solterra on the left hand side. Those are nearly all homes by Park Square Homes, and D.R. Horton and Park Square Homes left, and then Lennar came in and they brought in the Alexander and the Majesty Palm, and they built a whole bunch of them in Solterra Circle, and then Pulte came in, and Pulte brought in some of their great floor plans. So you have all these multiple builders in Solterra, which is really kind of cool, because you get a whole bunch of different options as far as that's concerned. All the bells and whistles, nice clubhouse, fantastic lazy river. They put the lazy river in actually after they built the clubhouse, which is a little bit unusual. It's just one of those resorts that's just kind of all around excellent. It has all the bells and whistles. It's everything you need. It's a relatively good position. It's 24 hours security, so it has a lot of the things that people are looking for in a vacation home resort. And again, the value does tend to be pretty good down there, so you can usually get a slightly better price than maybe some of the bigger named resorts. So it does fall into its unique category, and that is number 9, Solterra. Number 8 is probably one of the most famous resorts in the vacation home market in Orlando, and that's Windsor Hills. Windsor Hills Resort, I remember when I first started out in 2009, Windsor Hills was it. That's where you took people when they were wanting the very best. And interestingly enough, because of the way the market went, Windsor Hills actually remained really popular for a long period of time, because the market went belly up, as everybody knows, in 2006, and the market crashed, the property market crashed, and Windsor Hill was the last resort being built at that period of time. So what happened was there were no new resorts built, and Windsor Hills basically remained king of the hill from 2006 until Paradise Palms, ironically, our number 10 entry. And I think during that period of time it got so popular, and it was just the name, and that whole 2006 to 2010, many years where it remained number 1. And today it's still exceptionally popular. The properties in there for rentals are still exceptionally popular. The resort's still exceptionally popular. It's one of those trigger terms, I know, when people are searching for properties in the Orlando area, and our stats, Windsor Hills comes up as one of the top every single time. So it was at one time, if I was doing this video back in 2008 or 2009 or even 2010, Windsor Hills would have been number 1. It is still an absolutely fantastic resort today. A great resort to vacation in, it's a great resort to purchase in, just an all around fantastic place. So very well deserved at number 8. So my pick for number 7, which is Windsor at Westside, which is really the replacement resort for number 8, Windsor Hills. The Windsor Westside was Pulte's jump back into the market, which was more than 10 years later. They came in and they built the Windsor at Westside products, which was exceptionally popular. They did something that was really smart and really cool. What they did was they reinvented the floor plans. I think if there was one weakness to Windsor Hills, is that the floor plans were much more residential. When they come in and they developed Windsor at Westside, they built these fantastic floor plans that were very much more specific for vacation homes. Big communal area, games room areas. Just did a really good job of redesigning the floor plans and opening them up and making them bigger as well. Windsor Hills, maximum house you could buy in their size was 6 bedroom, whereas Windsor at Westside you can get an 8 and 9 bedroom homes in there. In fact, today, I personally think the 8 bedroom Baymont in Windsor at Westside is still my favourite 8 bedroom floor plan, and in fact that's going to be my next purchase in the next resort, and we might get to that a little bit later in the video as well. But yes, the Baymont, the 8 bedroom Baymont, is just a fantastic home. Windsor at Westside, great resort, another great location, really nice clubhouse, really nice lazy river. It has a real nice boardwalk into the lake, good location, just an all round good resort. We can't go wrong with Windsor at Westside. So coming in at number 6 on my list is Solara. And Solara has an interesting story that's a little different from the other resorts. Solara is actually the first delve into the vacation home market by the builder developer McNamee, which is a very large and well known builder up in Canada. And they came in and they decided they were going to give this whole vacation home resort thing a crack, and they actually did an absolutely superb job. I think everybody's a little wary, because anytime you bring in a new builder and you're worrying about, are they going to put in the right facilities, amenities and floor plans, etc. But as you can see, they built an absolutely superb clubhouse, just about as good as any of them. Really nice, good service, good food. It is a great location. It is right across the street from Windsor at Westside, and Windsor Westside is in a great location, so it's a good spot to be in. Has all the bells and whistles you're looking for in a clubhouse. It's got the outside tiki bars, and they did a really fantastic job. Really catering for everybody. They do a good job for the adults with the tiki bars and a big adult pool, lots of cabanas, etc., etc. But they also did a really good job for the kids, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of these developers, when they came in and started working on these resorts, they started actually looking at the families and looking at what they want to do for the children just as well as the parents. And a lot of them put in these individual water parks, which were fantastic for the kids and kids' play areas. And they also did a lot of really good exercise stuff. They did a lot of games, and in fact, I think Solara is only one of 2 resorts that I can think of offhand that has soccer fields. The other one, I believe, is Solterra. I may be wrong on that, but Solara definitely has a soccer field, which is kind of unusual. And that was one of the things that they actually had plugged. The other thing that they did, which was very unusual, is they put in a flow rider, which nearly every resort had put in a lazy river. But Solterra went ahead and put in a flow rider, which is a very unusual kind of different thing to do. So Matt and me weren't afraid to go in and do it a little bit different. They produced really nice floor plans, and they're different. And I think that's one of the nice things about Solara for us, is that, you know, where we're used to seeing the same resorts and we're putting up the same floor plans. Matt and me come in and they've just built a different product, different floor plans, a different overall look. So it was nice to see that, and overall it's turned out to be an absolutely fantastic resort. I've heard nothing but good things from our clients, from the guests that have stayed there. So yeah, it definitely is one of the top resorts in the Orlando vacation resort area, so make sure you mark it down as a potential. Houses all the way, I believe, from 5 all the way up to 9, and also townhouses, 3 up until 5 bedroom townhouses. So they do have a lot of great product in there. So yeah, mark it down. It's a good resort, definitely worth taking a look at. This next resort, number 5 on my list, very much warranted for its position, one of the great resorts in the Orlando area, one that we talk about all the time, exceptionally popular, has been one of the most popular recently, and that is the Encore Club. Encore Club is a little different from the other resorts in the respect that you don't really get the opportunity to self-manage as much as you do in the others, where you can choose any management company. Encore Club have it set up where you really have to use 1 or 2 of the management companies that are in-house, but they are both very, very good management companies. And what that lends itself to are people who really just want to buy the vacation home and allow the resort to take care of the rest. It's not for those who want to be involved in the management themselves and do their own bookings, etc., etc. Encore Club really doesn't work that way. It's a lot more like a hotel, a villa hotel, where you basically give the resort your property and they take care of it for you. They built some fantastic homes and some great floor plans in there. It's one of the closest resorts to Disney. It's just north of Reunion. People think it's part of Reunion. It's actually not part of Reunion. It is. It was at one point. The land was actually going to be part of Reunion, and Encore came in and purchased it and turned it into its own stand-alone resort. Some absolutely wonderful floor plans. The thing I think that stands out about Encore when we visit it with clients is clients will say to me, wow, this place is really nicely maintained, and it's true. And you go to Encore and you've been to some other resorts, and a lot of the resorts are fantastic as well, but Encore just tends to be that little bit more sparkly when you go in, and just a little bit better maintained, just the overall feel as far as the maintenance, the clubhouse and the landscaping, etc. So absolutely befitting. It's number 5 ranking in the best resorts in Orlando. Alright, we're coming to the business end of the very best resorts here in Orlando, and at number 4, an absolutely fantastic, exceptionally popular resort, and that is Storey Lake. Storey Lake is the follow-up resort to Lennar's Champions Gate Resort, and a lot of the same floor plans. In fact, we'll actually see the Alexander Palm and the Majesty Palm in Storey Lake. Great location. In fact, it's over in the southeast side of Disney. Nearly everywhere else is in the southwest side of Disney, so it kind of has its own little bubble area by itself, and it actually sits right on the road, Osceola Parkway, which is the road directly into Disney. So you literally drive out of Storey Lake, make a left turn, and just stay that road, and you follow that road, and it takes you right in to Disney property. So the location is absolutely fantastic. Did a nice job with the clubhouse. 3 different kinds of properties. You get townhouses, condos, and villas. 2 different kinds of villas. You get the villas and the single family homes, all the way up to the 8 bedrooms. The 8 bedrooms, they converted the garage into a games room, which is a great idea. It's a fantastic thing that Lennar did. They were smart enough to figure out a couple of things. One of them was the games room garages, which no more garages in their 8 bedrooms. They just built the game room straight in there, so you don't have any problems with permits and everything that goes on with the garages. And they also took away a lot of the landscaping and front grounds and yards, so they made the parking a lot better there as well as they built out. Lennar really put a lot of thought into designing this location. The condos are fantastic. The whole package at Storey Lake is great, and of course you get the whole scenario of different floor plans. You get the 2 and 3 condo, 2 bedroom condos, you get 4 or 5 bedroom townhouses, and then you got 5 through 8 bedroom villas. So you really have the entire spectrum of properties. You've got a great location, you've got a great clubhouse, and it is probably one of the top renting resorts. You're looking for occupancy and you're looking for rate, and Storey Lake seems to always fall into one of the top 2 or 3 categories as far as numbers are concerned. So if you're a pure investor, then Storey Lake is definitely one you want to look at. But that is Storey Lake, absolutely deserved its position on my board. The next resort, and my number 3 resort on the list, was really the one that started it all, and that is Champions Gate, or should I say Champions Gate the Retreat, because Champions Gate's actually the city of Champions Gate, and there is the resort of Champions Gate within the city of Champions Gate. Confused? We were. But I think everybody's finally figured it all out. So it's really Champions Gate the Retreat, which is the vacation home section of it, not to be confused with the rest of Champions Gate, which is residential. So you've got to be careful when you're buying in Champions Gate. If you're buying a vacation home, you rent it out, you want to make sure that it's in the short-term rental area. Probably the biggest and best clubhouse of all the clubhouses in Champions Gate came right after Paradise Palms, and it was really the start of all of these super resorts with the fantastic floor plans. I was fortunate enough to buy one of the very first 8-bedroom Mauis myself, right next to the clubhouse, and we held that for several years, and it was an absolutely fantastic investment. So I watched it being built, I watched the clubhouse being built, I was there every week and saw it all coming from literally a big piece of dirt to this absolutely fantastic resort, and today they're still building in Champions Gate, so it is probably going to turn out to be one of the very biggest resorts in the short-term rental area. Certainly one of the best known, one of the most popular, and again another one of those locations that you can't really go wrong with. 3 different kinds of designs in there. That's how long Champions Gate's been around. You've got the original phase 1, which are the earth tones. And then you moved on to phase 2, which I always think's been the best of the phases. Phase 2 is right next to the clubhouse, as those more modern whites and greys, but it still retains the same elevations as phase 1. And then they moved over to phase 3 and they put in the more modern styles and are building their own clubhouse over there. So yeah, there's a lot going on in Champions Gate, a lot to know about, a lot of different areas, a lot of different floor plans, and a lot of different elevations, and etc, etc, etc. But it is the father of the new resorts, and very well deserved in its spot at number 3. As we move into second but to the last resort, which is number 2 on my list, my own personal favourite resort, which is Windsor Island. Just an absolutely great resort. I have a property there myself right now. If you're watching this video in a few years, I may not have one then, but we actually own a property in there ourselves, and it's been great for us. I really enjoyed watching Windsor Island being built. They designed this absolutely gorgeous clubhouse and incorporated all the great stuff from all the other resorts. It's a large clubhouse, probably more square feet per head than any other resort. So it's a really big clubhouse, and it's a relatively small resort. It isn't a huge amount of homes in Windsor Island in comparison to the likes of Champions Gate, which is probably has got 3 or 4 times more properties in it than Windsor Island. So they did an absolutely great job of creating a lot of space, and they really facilitated everybody. Lots of stuff for the kids. It's a very big lazy river. I think it's probably the second biggest lazy river, may even be the first biggest in the short-term rental market. They have a fantastic facilities in there. They've got a hammock garden and do a great tiki bar. The food's great in there. Properties are fantastic, of course. We've got that 8-bedroom Baymont that I love so much. It is available in Windsor Island, and just an absolutely all-round superb resort. Haven't found anything wrong with it as yet. Prices in the location just went through the roof as the market started to appreciate, and very much so. It's not just a great resort, it doesn't just have great floor plans, but it does have the potential to be a great investment property. Just stunning all the way around. Absolutely very little to say wrong about Windsor Island. I don't think I would change anything in the resort if I was rebuilding it myself, and apparently that's exactly what they intend to do. I was just talking to the director of sales just the other day. In fact, I'll put a link to that conversation that I had with him right here in this video channel, so you can take a look at him. Craig Russo, director of sales at Windsor Island, was telling me that they're in the process right now of building the new Windsor Island, and that is going to be Windsor Cay, ready to be launched in 2023. We'll see Windsor Cay come out of the ground, and it'll be interesting to see where that fits in our list of the best resorts in Orlando. From what I am told, it is going to have basically the same clubhouse and the same facilities that they have in Windsor Island, the same homes and floor plans. It's going to be, instead of the theme that Windsor Island, which is really the Hawaiian theme that they did in Windsor Island, they're actually going to do a Bahamian theme in Windsor Cay. So you'll get to see basically the same concept, but a little balanced more towards Bahamian than the Hawaiian look. So other than that, I am told it's going to be the same great floor plans, the townhouses, the 5-bedroom townhouses, the Castaway floor plan, which is exceptionally popular. That's probably my favourite townhouse floor plan in the short-term rental market anywhere. It's a great layout. In fact, you wouldn't even know you're in a townhouse. It's so much like a villa. It's got a 3/4 size pool as well, so lots of space there. So check the townhouses out at Windsor Island, but the same floor plans. They've got the 5 through the 10-bedroom villas there as well, so you've got the whole gambit. So that's up next. So Windsor Cay is on the list, but for the time being, Windsor Island will be remaining at number 2 on our list, and let's take a look and see what we've got at number 1. My personal pick for the number 1 short-term rental vacation resort in Orlando would be Reunion. Reunion is very, very unique. It's different from every other resort. It's the one place where you can actually go and buy a piece of land and build any house that you like on it. You can't do that in any other resort in Orlando. You really have to purchase what they build, and they'll give you a floor plan and elevations and finishes. Reunion, if you can dream it, they can build it for you. So you can go there, pick a lot, buy a lot, sit with a builder and a designer, and you can scheme up some of the most amazing vacation homes, and a lot of people have done that. Or alternatively, you can pick what's already there. They have got some great condos. The Reunion Grand, the centre of Reunion, this absolutely wonderful hotel has condos built directly into it. They are available. It is the only location that I know of that you can get up in the morning, roll out of bed and play either the Tom Watson, the Arnold Palmer, or the Jack Nicklaus golf courses. Where else can you do that? But it's got something for everybody. Not only does it have great golf, but it also has its own tennis centre, Centre Court Ridge, and it has a fantastic water park. It has a whole bunch of really good restaurants, including the one on the 11th floor, where you can get a great view of Disney, the practice greens. Just the Union Grand is absolutely a fantastic spot. Lots of clubhouses, lots of pools, lots of areas, all sorts of sub-communities within Reunion. It has 2 golf centres, the main one by the Reunion Grand, which facilitates the Watson and the Palmer golf courses, and it also has a second one over in the west side of Reunion, which is Traditions, which is the clubhouse that you'll go to if you're playing at the Jack Nicklaus golf course. Great tennis centre at Centre Court Ridge if you're looking for just a condo and you want to be around the tennis centre, and they do have a tennis centre in Reunion, and they also have a really cool miniature golf course. What you will find is all these little satellite areas have their own pool areas, and probably 5 or 6 or 7 different pool areas around Reunion, so you can use any of those. Or you can go to the water park. It has a central, really great water park with a kids area, lazy river, really, really pretty. But of course, if you're a golfer and you love golf, then Reunion is unique in that respect. No other location in the short-term rental market has basically got as many golf courses or square foot of golf courses or golf course frontage properties. So they're really just fantastic, some of the scenarios. I owned the property myself on the 8th hole of the Jack Nicklaus golf course, and it was one of the favourite things for us to do, was go down there and watch the sunsets, a west facing home, and really enjoyed our stay there. So there really is a great variety. You've got condos, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, condos in various different sections. You do have a couple of townhome sections as well. There's 2 separate townhome or townhouse sections if you're looking for a townhouse, and then of course you can get anything in a home from 4 bedrooms. I think they've even built some that are over 15, 16 bedroom houses in Reunion. So they really have a fantastic selection and choice for you. Clubhouse, as I mentioned a little earlier before, lazy river. One of the interesting things that a lot of people don't know about the clubhouse is if you walk around the back of the the lazy river, they've brought in trees from all over the world and actually got labels. And if you walk around there, you'll see there's all these unique trees, tropical trees. And it's something that very few people know of. If you walk back there, you'll see those. Again, some of the most beautiful homes you'll see in Orlando are in Reunion, and some of the most prominent investment properties you'll see there as well. Properties up 10, 15 bedroom homes that rent out for $2,000 or $3,000 a night. So the choices in Reunion are pretty spectacular. You just can't really go wrong. We're looking right now at Reunion West and the homes over on that side. This is the famous tree house we just saw in the last one. As you can see, the architecture is very unique. You really have some homes that are both beautiful and very unique in style. The Bear's Den Club, another very interesting entity within Reunion. It is its own subdivision within the main resort, so it is gated, has its own access. Very unusual. Just 2 streets, one on the 17th and one on the 18th holes of the Jack Nicklaus golf course. It has its own entry, it has its own beautiful little park with its own set of facilities. It is right next to the Jack Nicklaus Traditions Clubhouse. It is very exclusive, very modern, and exceptionally popular. So the Bear's Den Club, definitely something you want to check out if you're checking out a Reunion. Eagle Trace is one of only 2 townhouse communities in Reunion Resort, Eagle Trace being the newer of the 2, and they offer these 3 and 4 bedroom townhouses at a great location, which is right next to the practice green for the Jack and Nicholas Golf Course, which puts it right next to the Jack Nicklaus Clubhouse and Traditions Restaurant. Great place with a lovely menu and a great spot if you want a frosty libation while enjoying watching the players play up the 18th fairway through Bear's Den and up to the 18th green. A great place for a wee pint. So there you have it. There is my top 10 selections in order for best short-term vacation rental resorts here in the Orlando area. I hope you've enjoyed my selections and some of my insights into the resorts. I've been fortunate enough to be doing this for quite a long time, and I've got to see nearly all of them getting built up from the beginning, so I've got a little bit of a unique insight, and hopefully I've shared some of that with you and you get to enjoy a little bit of the insider information. If you've enjoyed this video, please take a few seconds just to like it and subscribe to our channel so that you get updated as soon as we put new videos up, so you are completely up to date with everything that's going on here in the Orlando area. I hope you've enjoyed our little tour today, and thank you very much for watching.